All right, Coach Hamy, another season is here, but let's talk about last year. You lose some really spirited seniors in that group, and when you lose a Hudson Moore, Baden Forup, A.J. Young, Alex Depperschmidt, so much heart and soul to this team. How has that impacted you as a coach heading into this season to try to get some of these young guys to step up and realize, okay, you guys now are the leaders of this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's, we graduated 5 guys. 3 of them are playing at the college level now, all 3 in different sports. Baden Forup at basketball, A.J. Young in football, and Alex Depperschmidt in soccer. And then Hudson Moore went into the military, so he's out in California right now. So, yeah, all those guys were very important to the 20 wins that we had last year. And it's going to be huge to replace. But not only that, we had some other kids not return for different reasons. So out of the top 12 kids that I dressed last year, 8 of them did not come back. So I have 4 returners that were on last year's roster. Starts with Elijah Hudson and Braden Focal in the starting spot. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of new faces, a lot of young guys. Top 8 rotation, 5 of them are sophomores. So those guys are going to have to step up. And, we don't have a schedule that kind of takes care of us and guarantees us any wins. So, my young guys are going to have to learn from my veterans pretty quick.
So what do you and your staff have to do to kind of help elevate those sophomores to step up their game to push them into a leadership role?
Well, I think in practice we have to challenge them. We have to attack the game situations as far as week to week, the opponent, scouters, things like that. We have to do what we've always done. We can't take care of them, but we have to challenge them. It's one of those things, and a lot of Hall of Famers have made the comments that you want practice to be harder than the game. So, it's something that we've tried to do. We've tried to get our practices to simulate game atmospheres. And so that way, when we get into those game situations, the guys are comfortable, confident, and they know what they're doing.
We talked about Joey Caudill off camera. What kind of role do you expect to have him this year? Because it seemed like, especially in football, he really matured as an athlete.
Yeah, he's stepping into Baden Forup's spot, and which is what Baden did that for 3 straight years. So I don't expect him to fill his shoes. But it's a position that we count on, we rely on a lot, we expect a lot, both defensively and offensively. It's an athletic position that we like, and I think Joey can fill it that way. But there again, another sophomore that we got to bring him along. He's turning 16 years old, and he's going to be going up against 18-year-old young men. I think Joey can do it. I just have to make sure the confidence is there. Night in and night out, as well as with everybody else.
And then Braden Focal, you talked about him earlier, stepping into that leadership role. How has his transformation from his freshman year to his sophomore year looked through your eyes so far?
Well, I think he understands the pace of the game now, the physical contact, and that doesn't mean that he didn't understand it last year, but he just knows what it's going to take to go for a 22-game regular season now. The effort that we have to put forth, both in practice and in game situations. Last year there was a lot of chance. Oh, he's a freshman. Well, that's out the window now. You're a seasoned veteran. You've been a whole year as a starter. So there's going to be a lot of expectations for us and with this team based on him.
And one guy we haven't talked about yet, a new addition to your team is Seven Allen. What does he bring to your squad this year?
Well, we're still learning what Seven can do. Tremendous athlete. We've seen that in practice and some of the things, and even out on the football field. But right now, he's just kind of getting his basketball legs and getting his shot tied down and getting his ball handling, and he's mixing in with our guys a little bit. So it'll be a nice addition once we, get everything figured out and where we're going to be. And of course, we don't want to be game one, peaking at that moment. So it's something that we're going to continue to work on. And again, I only have 1 senior, so we're counting on him quite a bit, to bring these young guys along. So, I think Seven's going to be a nice addition to our squad. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what defining roles he will play.
And then Elijah, he is your lone senior. He really stepped up big last year when Baden and Hudson kind of needed that inspiration, and help, I would say. talk about him, how he's grown as a player as well.
Well, I think, his sophomore year, he was someone with his size that could shoot with accuracy. And so now, 2 years later, from his sophomore year to this year, we have to have more from him. We have to have rebounding. We have to have leadership. We have to have, limited ball handling. We've got to have that shooting still. We're going to be situations where my young guys are going to be challenged. He's going to have to kind of help be a guide out there on the floor, So it's just one of those things that his role going from his sophomore year until this year is a big jump. And that's the kind of the natural growth of things. And with him being the only senior, there's a lot of pressure on him to be able to, give that guidance.
Opening game is just days away, and it's just crazy how time flies and camp flies and everything. First of all, how's camp been? And let's talk about this opening weekend. You got Clear Fork and Clyde back to back.
It's been good. The guys are excited. They want to play. It's one of those deals. You get through a couple of scrimmages. You kind of see some things you work on. You don't make any decisions based totally on the scrimmages, but it shows you what you need to work on and things you need to focus on, I guess, going down the road. And it also gives you an opportunity to try different combinations, especially when you got a new face, coming in. We've got a bunch of new faces to the varsity level. So it gives us an opportunity to mix and match and do things like that for situations, for atmosphere on what we want to create on the floor, whether it be defensively, offensively, rebounding teams, free throw shooting teams, defensive squads, full court pressure, half court, things like that. So, it's been going pretty good here in the preseason, but, once you get in game week, things have to start to be defined. We don't want to be peaking. We don't want to be in late February form right now. But at the same time, we have to start defining roles. We have to start defining positions and make sure the guys are comfortable with those and aware of them.
And then the league overall this year, again, looks like it's going to be a pretty solid league. A lot of really good teams this year.
I think it always is. I really do. There's always been some ups and downs. We always like to work to make sure that we're up towards the top of the league. But some years it's different schools that are at the top. But every year it just seems to be competitive. And we've had years where, there's not been 2 wins out of a conference team, but yet every game has been competitive with them. It's not been 20-point wins. Even a 2-win OCC team, is going to take you right down to the wire. And that's what I like about our league, and I think that's the good competition that we have in it.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep.